Hello everyone, welcome back. In this episode, I want to go over some articles here. I did have a recent, hold on here, someone made a comment on one of my episodes here. Let's see if it's gonna come out, if y'all can read that. Okay, there it is. Thanks for sharing your thoughts. May I ask what exchange you trust for your trading of crypto? What do you recommend is the best way to store Bitcoins? Do you have any opinion on altcoins? What are your thoughts on physical precious metal investing, or are you mainly crypto? So I guess I'll do a video response here. I don't get a lot of questions on Bitcoin, so when I get one, I'm like really excited. That means somebody's actually watching and replying, and it's not a bot or some other stuff. So anyways, people are engaging. What exchanges do I trust? Any, I guess, major exchange, preferably in US dollar or something that I can look at in a US dollar way, which would be like the Bitstamp. It would be one, Bitfin and Bitsy, and then you got Coinbase, Kraken I mentioned, localbitcoins.com, that's another one, and then so that's far as an exchange. Local Bitcoin's not really quite an exchange. It's more of peer-to-peer, but I guess you can say that's a place where you can exchange. Of course, putting your name out there and a way to contact you. I don't think that's quite an exchange like this person's wanting to talk about, but anything that's major, that does a large volume, and it's not exclusive, it's kind of spread out. And a couple of reasons for arbitrage. It's possible to perform arbitrage if you do it in a right way. Instantly. You don't have to wait for the transfer of your Bitcoins or anything. You just have to have a little bit of money and Bitcoins in all these different exchanges, and when the price starts to shift or move, you can buy and sell at certain exchanges to perform arbitrage. Problem is that you've always got to have risk involved in there, because you always have to have Bitcoins and money. So you have to let the price float is the only issue with it. But if you're already committed to a certain investment, you can play it that way. And see, so what do you recommend is the best way to store Bitcoins? If you can, recommend offline storage, cold storage. So that's for me the easiest way. Other than that, it would be paper, which I haven't really tried paper because I trade so much in volume. By the time I print it out, I have a buyer that wishes to buy Bitcoin. So printing it out just to send it out again, it's kind of cumbersome. So that's kind of what's going on here. I'm not sure why it's not focusing, but anyways, what's the next question is, do you have any opinion on altcoins? And I've answered this before from other viewers. I don't really deal in other cryptocurrencies. I only deal pretty much for the most part in Bitcoins. I did use altcoins like Litecoins because some of the exchanges offer Litecoins just to experiment. But that's about it. I don't really touch anything else. I'm pretty exclusive to Bitcoins for a particular reason. So that's just how I feel, and that's always how I felt. I felt Bitcoins were unique, even though if there was other cryptocurrencies that came and had an improvement or whatever, it's has some historical value. Um, Being the first, people remember the first of everything, and that's what's recorded in history and time. Nobody remembers like the third person or the fifth person or the sixth person to do something, or or some kind of event happening, you know. So that's why I kind of only deal in Bitcoins in particular, and not with any other alternative crypto coins. So, okay, let's see if it's okay. There we go. Oh, okay. And then, what are your thoughts on the physical precious metal investing? Are you mainly crypto? I am mainly crypto. If I have any precious metals, they are mostly like jewelry, and I don't see them as precious metals. I see them as tokens of memory. So, if I do have any, they're just a memory I have of an experience, and that precious metal is what makes it precious for me. It's a memory, not because of the metal or what it's made of. Just represents a point in time in my life, which I think is important to me. So, anyways, so I hope I answered your questions. I'm not going to get into too much detail because you definitely want to secure your Bitcoins, and don't. It's okay to talk about where you trade, how you trade, and all that, but don't be too exclusive, because there's people out there watching, and they're watching and hearing for an opportunity to steal your Bitcoins. So be careful. If you've seen my previous episode, I think someone else asked me almost the same questions, and the whole thing about precious metals. The reason why I would invest in precious metals is because I know I would have a grave concern that there'd be a collapse in our daily lives of the system that basically keeps everything functioning. And so during that collapse, like you would see in a disaster like Hurricane Katrina, earthquakes, tornadoes, there's a certain amount of time or a point in time where there is no, because of the extraordinary circumstance, there is no law, and money may not be valued, because what good is money? And at some point, what good is precious metals? I was mentioning to one viewer that asked me something similar. If you ask me, if the world collapsed for any reason and you're seeking value in precious metals, you just become a moving target, and you couldn't give away your gold fast enough to save your life. And I think that's still true. So I think if there was any precious metal that I would that I would want, it would be steel and lead. In other words, it would be a gun. That's the precious metal that I would be investing, um, and I do invest in that. I am a gun owner. Um, I've never used my gun to kill anybody. I don't ever intend to. I do practice. If you've seen my videos on some of the shooting that I do, practice, and keep practicing, because you're practicing for something that's never going to happen. It's kind of weird. So you're doing something that's never going to happen, and kind of like Bitcoin. You're doing things that most people think is never going to happen. But you're doing it because you think it will happen one day. And when I go out to the range and I start shooting, practicing and everything, I do it in hopes that I never have to. But at the same time, what if you have to? What if that day comes? Are you going to be ready? So that's my feelings on that. Probably not what you were asking, but anyway, that's my answer. So let me back out of here. So in this episode here, I just want to answer that quick questions from a viewer. Thank you for watching. And here's my other thing I want to talk about here is this article, and I kind of actually want to do a whole episode here on women in Bitcoin. And the reason why I bring that up is, in the new age, in the new world order, it's not going to be possible to do this without women. Okay, you're talking about a whole new world, a whole new generation of what people will be believing in, and what they put their faith in, and how they empower themselves, and a whole new generation of a new world. Okay, and you can't do that with a whole bunch of men. As much as I think that what I do is gonna be done, in reality, you're gonna need some women. And so I don't envision a future where it's nothing but men doing things, because that's not going to get anywhere. It's a good start. It's a great start. But eventually, you're going to need some women. And so, anyways, I want to talk about this article. I tried to teach Congress about Bitcoin, and this is from Perianne Boring, another woman who has done more than what seems like any other, who's done more than any man that I know has done. And so even beating me to everything that I wanted to do, which was to create a PAC and a nonprofit. So I'm actually following in, I guess you could say I'm following in her footsteps.